Hello, welcome to Granada Reports. A little later than usual because of the football. Thanks for joining us. First, the agonising wait for news after a 14-year-old boy went missing when he went swimming with friends at Crosby Beach. Coast Guards have now stopped the search. The teenager became separated from the group in the water last night. Let's cross live now to Merseyside to join our reporter Victoria Grimes, who's in Crosby. Victoria, what's the latest?
Well, Lucy, we heard from the Coast Guard earlier this afternoon. They said that the search for this missing 14-year-old boy had been stood down. Now, there was a major search operation underway here involving police, fire and rescue, ambulance services and, of course, the Coast Guard and lifeboats from the RNLI, all desperately searching for any sign at all of this young boy. Now, it follows a call that came in to police, a concern for safety regarding a 14-year-old boy who it's understood was in the water close to the Coast Guard radar tower here, that landmark right on the Crosby Seaforth coastline here. Said to be in the water with friends, but his friends got out of the water and became separated from him, and he hasn't been seen since. Now, that major search was underway throughout the night. Many locals here have told me today they could hear the helicopter flying backwards and forwards as crews looked for him in the water. Lifeboats from Hoylake, from Lytham and St Anne's and also from New Brighton were also involved. But today at around 10 o'clock this morning, the Coast Guard said that that search had been stood down pending further information. This is an area that's very, very popular with visitors due to Anthony Gormley's Iron Men statues that are here, also with locals too. We've spoken to many of them today who've all said the same thing, that they're sad, incredibly sad to hear about what's happened, and also that the thoughts, as everyone's are tonight, with the family of that young boy and the agony that they must be going through as they wait for any news at all.
Victoria, thank you. In other news, jurors in the retrial of Lucy Letby have been reminded they must not approach the case with any preconceived views and must only decide the outcome on the evidence before them. The jury of 6 men and 6 women were given directions in law by Mr Justice Goss ahead of closing speeches from the prosecution and defence. The former nurse is accused of deliberately displacing a breathing tube that was attached to a baby girl at the Countess of Chester Hospital 8 years ago. Our reporter Emma Sweeney has been following the case for us.
Well, in presenting jurors with his directions of law, Mr Justice Goss told them that Lucy Letby's previous convictions for murder and attempted murder could support the prosecution's case if, having assessed the evidence, they were satisfied it was the right thing to do. But he said that they do not prove that Lucy Letby had attempted to murder child K. He told them that they must judge this case on the evidence in a calm, objective and analytical way. Now, the former nurse is accused of attempting to murder the child back in February of 2016, just 2 hours after she was born. The prosecution alleged that she was caught red-handed that night by one of the consultant paediatricians, Dr Ravi Jairam, as he walked into the intensive care unit and saw Lucy Letby, they say, doing nothing as baby K's saturation levels dropped to a critical level. The prosecution say that Lucy Letby had deliberately dislodged the child's breathing tube. Now, Letby maintains her innocence, but today the prosecution barrister, Mr Nick Johnson KC, described Lucy Letby as an extraordinary person, but not in a good way. He went on to say he listed the names of the 7 babies that she was convicted of murdering last August, and he went on to list the 6 babies that she was convicted of attempting to murder. Letby, he said, was a person who took pleasure in her murderous handiwork, and he later went on to say that it was common practice for the former nurse to sabotage infants entrusted to her care. Now, following the closing speech from the prosecution here today, it was the turn of Lucy Letby's own barrister, Mr. Ben Myers KC, to address jurors. Now, he said that the prosecution's case that Dr. Ravi Jairam walked into the intensive care unit and caught Lucy Letby red-handed was incredible. He said if he had really seen what he said he saw and believed somebody was killing babies and trying to hurt them, he would have gone to the police. He went on to say that Dr. Jairam didn't have a clue what he had seen, and he accused the prosecution of inventing ways to get around the evidence. Now, Mr. Justice Goss has started the process of summing up for jurors here this afternoon. He will continue with that process tomorrow morning. Lucy Letby denies one count of attempted murder.
Emma Sweeney, our reporter there. Family and friends of the missing teenager Jay Slater say they'll carry on the search in Tenerife. The teenager from Lancashire was last seen in the village of Masca 2 weeks ago. Spanish police have now called off their search, but the investigation remains open. A man has died after a car crashed into a pub in Hayward in Greater Manchester after it failed to stop for police. It happened in the early hours of this morning. The car was being pursued by police and hit the White Lion pub on York Street. The incident's been referred to the Independent Office for Police Conduct. Politicians in the Isle of Man have voted against a referendum on a proposed bill to legalise assisted dying. Members of the House of Keys voted on whether to put the issue to the people, with just one vote deciding the outcome. The bill will continue to proceed through the Manx Parliament. Now, how are your nerves today after last night's drama at the Euros? Going from facing elimination from the tournament, England are now looking forward to a showdown with Switzerland in the quarterfinals on Saturday, all thanks to some very late heroics, as Mike Hall reports.
There are certain moments that bring the nation together. All the sweeter when they're not expected. After yet another abject England performance at the football club, a crowd gathered to cheer on a local hero to impress. Just moments.
I couldn't believe it. I thought it was over. And then it came out of nowhere. I was so happy.
Really happy and relieved. Thank God we're through.
How are you feeling?
Good.
Was that exciting?
Yes.
It was amazing. We just needed Kobe to score. He'll do it in the next game.
Over the moon. About time. I knew we'd turn up, and we have done.
I hope everyone at home and everyone in the stands today saw that we're fighting for everyone that's watching, supporting ourselves, our teammates, family.
In Cheadle and the ITV Sports studios, where Gary Neville seemed rather happy too. England may not be coming home just yet. Ask the good people of Cheadle, they'll tell you football just might be. Mike Hall, ITV News.
Yeah, great scenes there. We've got to go through it all again now. After months of waiting, Manchester United have finally agreed a deal to bring in Dan Ashworth to the club as their new sporting director. They've reached a compensation deal with Newcastle United for the FA's former technical director. He'd been placed on gardening leave earlier this year after interest from United. He's the latest major off-field signing by the club since Sir Jim Ratcliffe became co-owner. Now, every dog has its day, and it's a very lucky one for Arthur the cockapoo. His owner feared that he might never walk again when he suddenly became paralysed, but thanks to some remarkable and pioneering new treatment at a veterinary hospital in Chester, Arthur is now back on his feet. Incredibly, it was made possible by the use of 3D printing, as Rob Smith explains.
Where's your chew?
From a happy pup to one who suddenly couldn't walk, no one knew Arthur the cockapoo was born without a vital piece of bone in his back. He needed a brace to keep his spinal cord from being crushed. But vets in Chester used 3D printing technology, common for making models and prototypes, to help fix his spine. Now, 5 months on, even with a slightly wobbly walk, there's no stopping him.
What's it mean to you to have him like this?
Absolutely everything. You know, we lost our 2-year-old cockapoo last year suddenly, and then I thought we were going to lose Arthur as well. And I honestly didn't think I'd be taking him away from here once I dropped him off. So to have him back like this, I know he's not as normal, like, you know, how he should be, but to us, he's perfect.
A specialist team created 3D models of Arthur's spine based on scans to guide the delicate surgery. Laid directly over his bones during the op, they made sure the screws holding his back together didn't hit his spinal cord.
This would be the 3D printed spine that we made of Arthur, and we would get this 3D printed guides so that we could drill holes. These type of surgeries can have up to 10% of poor outcome due to the location of the problem. You can, if you put your implants without any guides, you can hit the spinal cord, and that could be fatal. The problem was in an area that connects the skull to the rest of the spine, so it's very near the brainstem, which is a vital organ or part of the brain that controls breathing.
Okay, good boy. Easy go.
Arthur's mobility is expected to improve over time. Vets say he should have a normal, happy life. Rob Smith, ITV News, Chester.
Yeah, well done to them, incredible. Now the weather with Emma.
Mom, wet wipes, toilet or bin?
Bin. Why?
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada Weather.
Hello there, very good evening to you. Hope you're enjoying your Monday. It's the 1st of July and I think we all know what he's thinking. Yeah, it's a bit of a changeable start to the week, but very wet midweek, and the thing we're really keeping an eye on, unseasonably windy, and that's not very welcome since most of our trees are in full bloom at the moment. So then it's a bit of a mixed bag over the next few days. You can see we've got high pressure trying to topple in tomorrow, then the next frontal system pushing in on Wednesday. That's the way the pattern continues over the next few days. Front, then drier day, front, then drier day. But this system here will bring these stronger winds. It's not going to be very pleasant at all. More widely wet with rain on Wednesday, more in the way of showers on Thursday. Rewinding though to the next few hours, today's cloud and messy rain, messy weather in general, just tries to clear away. And after midnight, I think things will turn drier and a little bit clearer. A bit breezy through the Irish Sea there, an odd glancing shower here, maybe across the Isle of Man, possibly through Merseyside as well. But generally temperatures holding up. And then we're into Tuesday. Sun's up about 4:45 in the morning and sets about 4:10 in the evening. So then it's, well, a bright start to the day, but some showers bubble up later. Mostly dry to the south of the M62 corridor. Any showers more likely to be in the north there, but on balance it's going to be drier rather than wetter. But look at the temperatures, still very disappointing and a little bit breezy as well. But when the sun comes out in between those showers, then the UV will be strong. Showers get a bit more organised through Tuesday evening and also into Wednesday, as you can see when that frontal system approaches. So Wednesday is the grimmest day of the next few, 25 to 30 mile an hour gusts of wind with more widespread rain. The winds peak overnight Wednesday into Thursday, but still gusts of 35, 40 miles an hour into Thursday itself. That's the weather then. Here's your pollen.
Cleaned up well.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada Weather.
Hello, summer. Piri sponsors ITV Pollen Count.
On then to the pollen report now then, and because of the mixed forecast, counts are a bit up and down over the next few days, but we are approaching the second peak of the grass pollen season, so we're not quite out of the woods yet. That's it for now. You're up to date with everything. Bye-bye.
No, we're not. I think we better cancel Wednesday. Welcome to summer. Can't be July the 1st. Anyway, have a lovely evening. That's it from us. Bye-bye.